It amazes me how many bad photos I constantly see from guys on Hinge, even when they're coming to me and saying like, I've done everything I can think of, where am I going wrong?
What is wrong with you?
And one of the main things I see come up a lot is guys are trying, which is awesome, but they're kind of by themselves. They're wondering, how do I take photos? Maybe they include a friend or something, but they're just still doing a few things wrong. I used to be the biggest culprit of this. I never wanted to take photos. I hated it. And I would just kind of try to use photos that I had. Like I'd be in an event or at a party or something. Someone would take some snaps and that was my selection. And I think back to that time and I'm like, what was I doing? I was giving myself so few opportunities to stand out on Hinge. And unfortunately, guys, we do live in a competitive world, and I imagine the reason you're on this video is you want to stand out. So today we're going to run through 7 ways or tips that you can implement to take awesome photos by yourself, and not only just have 1 or 2 to choose from, but have a bunch. But look, before we get to that and what to do, the biggest thing of what not to do when it comes to taking photos by yourself is to do selfies. No more selfies, full stop, no matter what, on any of your dating profiles, guys.
All right, if you say so.
It is so low effort, and I'm telling you right now, it is literally the least flattering style of photo that you can take. The camera, when it's close to your face, creates a really weird depth field, and you're just not going to look your best. Simple as that. Worst yet is when I see a guy's profile just full of selfies. You are shooting yourself in the foot so hard if you're doing this. So guys, enough about that. Let's get into the 7 things that you can do instead. And if you've got those selfies, delete them all, follow these 7 steps, and you're gonna have way better photos.
I can't wait.
Okay, so the number 1 tip I say is to go get a tripod. Now I know that might seem a little bit obvious, but it's all about kind of like changing your habits and the way that you do it. So hear me out. So I was traveling recently and I made sure that I put a little foldable, cheap tripod. I bought it on Amazon for like 15 bucks. And I always had it in my backpack. The reason being is you can pull it out at a moment's notice and take a good photo if there's a sick background, there's something cool going on, and you don't have to rely on asking someone else. Now a tripod is always better than a selfie because it does look like someone else has taken it. It's going to be at the right height, which remember guys, it's around about that sort of chest height level. And well, if you're like me and traveling alone, you don't need friends to take the photo.
Whatever you want. I have no friends.
And also it's kind of funny, like when I was traveling, my friends were like, who's taking all these photos of you? Like, have you met a girl and stuff? And yeah, little did they know that it was just my tripod. But you're gonna meet many, many girls after you take photos like this. Now, secondly, if you are caught in a pickle or you don't have a tripod or you just want to get started right after viewing this video, you can just lean your phone on something. It's actually pretty easy. Now, yes, the angle kind of like might be a little bit off, but I'm talking if there's something so cool going on, you've walked past, there's like an event going on, a cool background, get it out and try this. Number 3, when you are taking photos either of these ways, make sure that you are using the back camera. Generally, the inside camera is going to look a little bit lesser quality and that back camera is so much better.
This should be interesting.
Number 4 is to just ask a stranger. Now, I know that's like pretty straightforward, but for me, it's how you ask. If you just go to some random lady or old man, you say, hey, can you take a photo of me? Generally, they're gonna take like an awkward 1 photo. It's gonna be out of frame. It looks crap. It's really important that you make it really clear what you want so there's no room for error. What I'm talking about that works really well for me is I'll tell them kind of like where to hold it, which again is that sort of chest high, not too high, not too low. Make sure it is straight. I'll tell them if I want it like portrait or landscape. That could depend based on the background. And I'll tell them what I'm gonna be doing. Guys, I released a video course not that long ago, all around how you can excel at online dating. It's called Hooker Heart. The link is down in the description below. But one thing that we go over is the best way to take photos is a continuous taking of the photos or using a video whilst you walk towards the camera. In Hooker Heart, we go over so many different poses and exactly how to do them, but this is one of my favorites. But the reason I bring this up is if you are going to do that, it's important that you do tell that stranger that that's what's going to happen.
You got to show me you're going to do it.
Now I'm just gonna kind of walk towards you. Now if you could maybe just take a few photos, that would be awesome. I usually try to ask in that way, in a really nice soft way, and hey, this is a little bit embarrassing, especially being a guy. But guys, I've done this a bunch of times now and it's nothing. First time I did it, I was cringing hard, but you get over it real quick. And some of the best photos that I have been taken by the most unsuspecting people that you wouldn't think are very good at taking Instagram or dating app profile photos, but they come out awesome because you're giving yourself so little room for error.
I don't want to make a mistake.
Number 5, if you are getting a stranger to take that photo for you, is to use live photos. Now, if you're not sure what live photos are, it just essentially catches a little bit of a video either side of that photo. And when you go to edit your photo, you can actually drag that little screen across. So you can pick the frame that suits you best. It actually blows my mind how much a difference a frame can make. There'll be ones where I'm eyes closed, smiling, and then the very next one I look a little bit better. So make sure you are giving yourself not only the one photo, but every single one of those photos you're taking, there's 20 frames to choose from. Make sure you're doing that instead. Have a little slide through, and I guarantee you'll find at least one in there that looks best.
I gotta look good. Let's do this.
Woo. Number 6, the other thing that you can do instead of live photos is shoot in 4K video. So this is perfect if you are doing it by yourself with a tripod, leaning the phone against something. I just set the video on, put it in 4K, and you have so many really nice, crisp, clear frames to choose from. And you can simply just screenshot the frame that looks best, or you can just go into your phone's editing software and export that frame individually. Now, yes, the quality might be a little bit worse compared to just taking a straight up photo, but if it's in 4K and you have so many frames to choose from, guys, I personally think it's probably the better way to do it. And if you're by yourself and you don't have a stranger around to ask, it's really the only way you can do it. Unless you set a timer, but
I am trying everything.
And number 7 is to just try to change your mentality when it comes to photos. So that might mean just making sure that you always look your best when you're getting out and about and thinking, hey, who knows, might take some photos while I'm out and about. It also means just developing that sort of sense of what will make a good photo. Now look, I call this the foresight, and I go over this in a lot of detail in Hooker Heart. I'll tell you exactly what to look out for. There's a few specific things. Again, a link is down in the description for the course. But once it starts becoming a natural thing at the back of your mind that you're focusing on, it's so amazing how you'll be walking around, you're like, hey, that will make a really good photo. A few rapid fire tips as well when it comes to this, guys. Make sure that your first photo is your best photo. It's nice and clear. It's generally full body. Number 2, be the focal point of all of your photos. Even if there's something really, really amazing going on in the background, make sure that you are at the forefront of it. Do not just take a photo of your car, a landscape, or food. Number 3, use those backgrounds as a conversation starter. If it's a cool hobby, you're at a cool event, something crazy is going on in the background, and that's usually going to get a better response than a selfie in your mum's bathroom. Next, use good lighting. You see this frame right now, there's a window in front of me, my face is highlighted. Make sure that you are focusing on lighting. There's no shadows on your face. Generally, what I like to do is a little bit of a spin. You can do a 360 holding your camera, and that will show you where the best lighting is coming from. Next, on that note, when it comes to lighting, the best time to take photos is at dusk or dawn. Photographers call it the golden hour. It's the most flattering. If you're a little bit pasty like me, it does look a bit better as well. Lastly, make sure you change up the type of photos. Don't just go out for one photo shoot one day, take a bunch of photos and that's it. If you do that, that's fine. Take a change of clothes. You want to make it look like you've taken all these photos all different times and you haven't sat down and just done a photo shoot for Hinge. Now guys, I just picked out a very few amount of tips when it comes to your photos. A lot of that was taken from Hook Her Heart. We go through much more detail of exactly what to do when it comes to your photos. So if you're interested in just leveling up your dating game, making sure your profile is awesome, but more importantly, arguably, making sure you know what to do after you match with all these new people, then I highly suggest you check out Hook Her Heart. There is an introductory price going at the moment there if you want. Also, if you're not actually even sure where you're going wrong with Hinge, make sure you do go and take my quiz down below, which will tell you what problem area you need to focus on more. And then I'll give you some actionable advice on what to actually do with that problem area. Lastly, go check out the website if you want more help on basically any dating app that is in existence. Watch my other videos. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, do all that stuff. And guys, until next time, I'll see you later.